we have now made it to Aswan, Egypt's southernmost frontier. Here, we find the Nile more serene than anywhere else, flowing through giant boulders and palm groves. And at once, we found ourselves again in a different world, with a different set of food, culture, and traditions. This is the land of the Nubian people. They belong to one of Africa's oldest civilizations, tracing their home between southern Egypt and Sudan. They are known for their music, colorful art, skill in archery and warfare. Some Nubian rulers also ruled as Egyptian pharaohs for some time. Today, we are going to visit them and soak in their rich culture. But to get to the village, we must cross the sand dunes in the traditional way, by camel. As soon as everybody managed to get over that hump, literally, our caravan went on its way.
Everybody's having fun. It's a great experience. A lot of them have their first camel ride. I scare them that if they shout too much, they fall into the water.
I am not sure who got more scared, the riders or the camels, because of all the screaming. But we all managed to enjoy the scenery.
Where else can you get a camel ride with this nice view? It's not just the desert, it's the water, it's the Nile, and we're going to a Nubian village to have dinner.
When we got to the village, getting down seemed to be another challenge. Finally, we entered the home of our generous Nubian hosts.
And everyone's curious as to how a Nubian house looks like. So here we are. Aziz will explain. He's a good buddy of his. And I think it was a good experience for everybody to ride a camel and now to experience Nubian hospitality.
The Nubians held their own beliefs, which were closely tied to Egyptian tradition. Crocodiles were sacred and kept inside the house, reminiscent of the worship of the crocodile god Sobek.
He tied them up just to make sure. How old?
4 years.
4 years old already. Doesn't feel like a pet.
People here in the past, they didn't have any fridge or any technology. So they used to weave the reeds of the balmy tree and they make those beautiful stuff with it to put the dishes away from the ants and bugs.
The women kept the tradition of weaving and crafting. In ancient times, Nubia was an important trade gateway for goods coming from southern Africa into Egypt. Everyone enjoyed meeting the whole family and learning more about the Nubian way of life, even getting a henna tattoo as a souvenir. From the Nubian villages, we made our way further south, closer to the Sudanese border. In the midst of the barren desert, we find a most magnificent colossal structure.
This monument was built by Ramses II. If you will notice, there are 4 statues. All of it is him, which means from the north to the south, the west to the east, he is the ruler of the area. The little statues under him is his whole family and his beautiful queen, Nefertari.
Ramses II built this massive temple to show his might to the Nubian people, whom he had difficulty putting under Egyptian control. He lived to be 96 years old, had over 200 wives, more than 100 children. His reign was the second longest of any Egyptian pharaoh, and he had the most number of monuments built all over the country. The extent of his power was immortalized in this temple. Each of his statues stands 65 feet high. Images of his captured enemies are carved on the walls. Various gods and symbols of power adorn the temple's exterior. Inside, we find 8 massive pillars of a godlike Ramses. The walls are filled with scenes of his victories in battle. But the temple's most remarkable feature can be found deep inside.
This is the inner sanctum of this temple, and it's said the sun's rays penetrate all the way inside during the date of Ramses II's birth and his date of coronation.
The axis of the temple was positioned so that on October 22 and February 22, the sun's rays shine directly upon 3 of these 4 statues: Ramses II, Amun-Ra, and Ra-Horakhti, while the god of the underworld Pa is kept in the darkness at all times. Today, the date may no longer be accurate, as the whole temple complex was moved from its original location to where it is now. With the construction of the Aswan High Dam, the structure was in danger of submerging underwater. The entire site was cut into 16,000 blocks, each weighing up to 30 tons, and reconstructed in a safer spot. It was an astounding engineering and logistical feat by UNESCO and the Egyptian government. Next to the Great Temple is a smaller one, built in the same fashion.
This temple was dedicated to Queen Nefertari. It's very unusual because she's depicted as the same size of Ramses II.
The temple reflects the honor and prestige bestowed by Ramses II to his queen consort Nefertari. It is only the second time in Egyptian history that a pharaoh dedicated a temple to his wife. Although there is no archaeological proof, locals believe that Nefertari is of Nubian origin. And this is perhaps why they were able to embrace the Egyptian culture. As our trip winded down, we savored the gentle breeze on the deck and watched the last rays of the sun over the horizon. Our amazing crew served us cocktails on the lower deck as we docked on a small island where they prepared a traditional dinner for us. It was a feast fit for a pharaoh with the best Egyptian cuisine. Together with music and dancing, they were not only good sailors, but good performers too. With the lively and catchy tunes, everyone could not resist joining in the fun. It was truly the best way to cap off our Egyptian adventure. We've traveled from the northern region of Alexandria to the southernmost borders of Abu Simbel. It was a long journey, which allowed us to see most of Egypt. Organizing a trip of this magnitude can be very challenging, but seeing everyone smile in the end made it all worth it. I wonder what they thought of the trip.
Well, first of all, Joy, thank you so much for organizing and inviting us to this, really, really unforgettable, tour. No? Egypt has been in Chelo and my wish list for quite some time.
But I should tell you, what I appreciate so much is that you've been able to take us through different modes of transportation, riding these camels. You're getting us to live the way they live.
Yeah.
So, and that for me is really something.
And I think the best way to travel is to travel with
That's
a group, and to travel with people who can become your friends and really be part of your extended family and have different perspectives as well. Yeah? And that's what's nice about being in the company of this group in particular, because we come from different backgrounds, but we are able to share our experiences and our perspectives. It's wonderful.
Well, actually, being a first-timer in Egypt, we had a lot of not so nice things that we hear about Egypt. But now, we said this is one trip we really should not have missed.
And I'm just so glad to be in this tour because I have learned a lot about Egypt, history, and also the culture.
I think the size of Egypt alone is so overwhelming, and this ride on the Nile is something else. It's a big treat. We don't want to leave the place. It's so peaceful. The arts. I would like to go into sculpture after this trip.
Just like her, this is not part of my bucket list also. I did not expect that I will reach Egypt. I will be cruising across the Nile. So it's such a good experience for me.
And what do you think about the food?
Well, obviously, I lost the Egyptian pounds, but
Shopping.
with the food, I gained back the pounds in my body. So the food was really something.
The experience, Aziz was doing a great job in giving us the thorough explanation of how things were done, and then what are the meaning. And then also, having to touch it, like you said, now it gives the full spectrum of the experience.
So many things that you see that you would not really realize that it really exists.
Yes. Well, I just want to thank you for putting this together, because I know it's a lot of hard work, but we have to say that this has made the experience fantastic.
I think it's the sharing aspect of it. I think that's what the show is all about. We try to share what we see with everyone.
Oh, this is one experience that we would like everyone to really get into, try it. It's something that you would probably include in your bucket.
I am glad I was able to share this experience with good friends who are as crazy as I am to go on adventures of a lifetime such as this. Of course, I was also very happy to visit Aziz and Mina again, whose sincere and generous help allowed us to have a great journey. As we dusted the sands off our feet, we realized that travel is meant to be shared, something that we will keep doing here on Asian Air Safari.
This has been your captain, Joy Roa. See you in the next Asian Air Safari! Yay!